Hello everybody, welcome back. Jiu-Jitsu 2000 here today. I'm back with an interesting video for you. Today we're going to continue on our Pathfinder Phase 1 certification training. We are on Block 5, Module 2, and what I want to talk about is the next fire. In other words, we're going to make char cloth today. Stay with me. I hope you enjoy the video. Okay folks, the first thing that I recommend when it comes to making char cloth is getting a fire going, obviously, and we want that fire to burn down to where we get a good bed of coals. And since I already have the fire going, I'm going to switch the camera over here and I'm going to show you what I'm doing with my bandana. Okay folks, there's two things that we need to make char cloth. The first thing obviously is the material that we're going to char. So I'm going to sacrifice one of my bandanas today. And the second thing we need is some sort of container. Altoids tins work really good. I'm going to use this Optima tin. And you can see on the letter I, right there on the dot of the I, you can see there's a little hole there. I poked that hole from the inside out. Hopefully you can see that on the I. The reason I poked that hole from the inside out is so that when I put my material in here to char, that hole will allow the smoke to leave this container. And what we're doing when we produce char cloth is we're superheating the fabric to the point of combustion, but we're not burning it. And it's very important that when we're making char that we don't allow oxygen into this container, okay? Because if we do that, we're going to ruin the char. Now there's a lot of natural materials that you can use to make char. You can use a lot of fungus, horseshoe fungus, you can use punk wood. There's just, obviously you can use bandanas and anything cotton, your blue jeans, denim, stuff like that. So let me reposition this camera. I'll show you what I'm doing here. So I'm just going to take this material. Again, you want to make sure that you are 100% cotton. See that? So I'm just going to take this knife. I'm just going to make a few little cuts about 1 inch apart or so. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. So there's 3 of them there. Put my knife away. And I'm just going to rip these all the way down. So what that leaves me with is some strips. See those nice little strips? So we're going to put these strips together here. This first one looks like it kind of thinned out a little bit on us, but that's okay. Not that big of a deal. It's still going to be useful. So we're going to get this stuff like this. Get the knife out again, and whatever size container we have, that's about the size we want the char cloth to be. So let's just kind of measure here and just get a ballpark, make it just a tiny bit smaller than the container so they'll fit, obviously. 1, come right back here, cut it again, and we're just using this as a gauge, I guess you could say, to measure. Just getting our material here. Just like this. Nothing too crazy. This process is pretty simple, folks. So we're just taking some, and the objective of this video or this exercise was to make enough char cloth to make 5 fires, at least 5 fires. So that's what we're hoping for here. We're going to make plenty of char cloth today. So again, we're just kind of flipping this baby around, cutting these fibers up into the right size, just like this. And again, this was only 3 strips off of my bandana, so I still have the rest of my bandana. So we have something like that. So now I'm going to take this container, open it up, and I'm just going to set the char down. Now In fact, what I'm going to do is the worst of the bunch, the crappiest pieces, I guess you could say, are the pieces that I'm going to put down. You know, you can see that I put this little one kind of across like that. The reason I do that is because that one might burn, and it'll create, if I set these on top of that, it'll create just a tiny bit of air flow underneath it, and that'll keep the rest of the bundle from burning. So now I have this in my container. I'm going to throw it in the fire here pretty soon. Okay folks, the next thing I want to do is I want to kind of remove the fire out of this little bit of an area, and I want to pull coals into this area. I don't want to char directly over the fire. You can, but I would rather do it over coals. That's just me personally. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to move this out of the way because I don't want to overcook my char. So see these nice little bed of coals here. I'm going to take this little container, just pop it right down there in the fire, right down there in the coals, and you'll notice here pretty soon that there's going to be smoke coming out of that hole on that tin. Let me zoom in so you can watch it. Now I'm not going to cut this film off or nothing like that. I'm going to let the thing go live so you can see it through the whole process. You'll notice here pretty soon you'll start seeing smoke coming out of that hole in the eye. See that? See that smoke coming out of that eye? That's what we want. Now we're going to watch that, and when we stop seeing smoke, our char cloth is done. So let's just wait. Again, we're watching that as our indicator. That's how we know how far along our char is. Now you can see that our container kind of, you know, catches on fire a little bit on the corner. That's okay. No problem. That happens from time to time. Another reason why I don't like putting it in the flames is because I like being able to see how far along that material is. You see that it's still flaming up on the sides, so that's telling us that it's not done yet. When we stop seeing flame and smoke, that's a good indicator that our char cloth is about done. Which, in our case, it's not even close yet. I just see a little flame on that bottom corner there. Well, folks, I think we're done. I'm going to back this camera out. I'm going to set it right here on this rock right here. So I have a small forked stick here. I'm going to go ahead and grab it and get it out of the fire. Just like this. And it's important to not let it come in contact with the oxygen. This fire out of the way, getting hot on me. Looking like an amateur. Okay, there we go. We're going to let that cool down. Those rocks will naturally help it cool. Bring this, and it's very important, again folks, not to reiterate, but it's important to make sure that that char cloth does not get any oxygen to it. That'll ruin the batch, because then it'll burn the material. So we're just going to let that cool for a couple minutes, and then we'll check it, see what happens. So we're just waiting for it to get cool to the touch. Doesn't take long. These little containers, they cool pretty quick. Still a little bit warm though, not quite ready. I'm going to use my glass again and my ferro rod. You're probably wondering what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you that the char cloth is viable, that it works. In the meantime, while I'm waiting for this to cool, I'm going to go get some punk wood, because I'd like to char some punk wood. So here's a little bit of punk wood. So once that thing cools, I'll take the char cloth out and I'll put the punk wood in. Punk wood will go in the fire. It's definitely cool to the touch. Let's go ahead and take a look. So there's our char cloth. Set that there. Get a small rock or something to hold it here, because I don't want to lose it. Let's put this punk wood in. Try this too. This stuff works pretty good as well. So while I'm showing you if this is viable or not, we're going to be charring this in the fire, or at least in the coals anyway. Okay, so there's our punk wood. I'm getting smoked out over here. So let's turn right to about there. Okay, let's get some nice coals up here. Punk wood's in. And let's see if this stuff is viable. I gotta move that one piece, it's smoking me out. Bear with me, folks. too much smoke up there. There we go. Let it go back to the flame so it'll quit smoking on me. Okay, so here's our char cloth that we created. Let's take a look. So I'm going to start with some of the smaller pieces. Put the rock back on there. Let's see if we can get it lit with the ferro rod here. Okay. Hopefully you can see that. Oh gosh, that smoke is killing me. Sorry folks. Hopefully you can see that burning. That is definitely a viable piece. The wind ain't helping out today. Let's try another piece. You can see that the punk wood is still smoking. Let's try one more piece here, just for good measure. Put that baby right there. Whoops, I lit my pile on fire. My pile's viable, I can tell you that much. There we go. Boy, that got multiple ignition all over that piece. Let's get back to the camera and let's see if we can see that. See that char cloth is viable. Definitely working. It's thin. Boy, this stuff is thin. I need some thicker material. That stuff won't hold together very good. You know, when you buy these bandanas, you can get, or the material for that matter, you can get different thread counts. This one apparently is a low thread count. Try one more. Yep, we're good. See that? There's my char cloth. Stuff works really good, folks. Captures an ember very well. So this char cloth here is good to go. Set that aside. That's definitely enough for 5 fires. There's probably a dozen pieces there. There's a lot there. So I can definitely make 5 fires out of that. No doubt about it. Now how's our punk wood doing? Still smoking. Not quite done. Okay, still working. Still smoking. My apology for the long video, folks. I just wanted to do this in real time so you guys could see for sure that there's no shenanigans. And I know the punk wood wasn't a requirement. I just wanted to share it with you. I think the punk wood's getting close to being done. Just waiting for it to stop smoking. Since the punk wood is a thicker material, it's going to take a little longer to char. But it looks like we're getting close to being done. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and take it off. Pull that punk wood out. So we'll let that cool, and then we'll test it and see if it's viable. Still too hot. What it's going to look like, it's going to look like charcoal. It's going to look something like this, except sometimes when you don't cook it completely, it'll be a little bit brown and it'll be a little bit black on some areas. It won't be black all the way. It just depends on how much I cooked it. I'm kind of suspecting that this one might have a slight bit of brownness to it. We're not sure. We'll see when we pull it open. It's like watching grass grow. It's boring. Sorry folks. Feel free to use that fast forward button. Getting closer. Still warm, but I believe we're good. Let's go ahead and open it up. And wow, that looks like some good stuff. That looks like good punky wood. Let's try a piece. I don't think it caught. Let's try another piece here. I might have overdone it. Nope. I got one little piece that lit. Tiny piece. Let's try this. Flip this baby over. Yeah, we have a tiny ignition here. Barely. Probably going to go out by the time I get it to the camera. This little gray area. Yep, just went out. Let's try it again. Try to get it lit. No, it's still going. It's still going. See it? I didn't recognize it at first. That's good stuff. Good quality punkwood char. That one's a good piece. Let's try another one. Let's try this piece right here. This looks like a good piece. Let's see what we got here. Yep. I'm going to shake it a little bit so it'll get going. See that? Oh yeah, you can see it when I blow on it. Hopefully you guys are seeing that. So that we definitely have some viable punk wood. So looks like block 5 module 2, the next fire, char cloth. We are done, folks. I want to say thank you for watching. Hope you got some good useful information out of this video. Please feel free to leave comments down below. Like this video, share this video, and if you like the content that you see on my channel, please subscribe. I'd love to have you. And until next time, have a beautiful day, folks. Now get out there and make some char. Talk at you later. Stay tuned, because we'll be talking about module 3. Block 5 module 3 will be boiling water. See you then.